Most people don't realize they're performing. Every single day, playing a role they didn't choose, seeking approval they don't actually want. They measure success by metrics that mean nothing to them. But there's another way to live, and it starts with choosing deliberate practice over comfortable distraction. Pick the right discipline today, and 6 months from now, you won't recognize your inner landscape. Not because external circumstances shifted, not because luck arrived, because you rewired what happens when pressure arrives. You rebuilt the foundation of how you respond to adversity. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we become what we repeatedly do in the quiet moments when nobody's watching. Epictetus taught that our power lives in chosen actions, not wished for outcomes. This isn't philosophy for academics sitting in libraries. This is operational wisdom for building yourself from the ground up. I'm going to show you 10 practices that look ordinary to everyone else, but they build something dangerous inside you. Clarity under stress, composure when chaos arrives, and the capacity to continue when your nervous system screams for comfort. These aren't hobbies for collecting, they're forges for character. Choose one and commit completely. 6 months from today, people won't ask what changed. They'll ask how you forged yourself when no one was watching. And one of these is the fastest path to unshakable confidence without becoming some loud performance of yourself. Most avoid it because the first steps feel exposed, because it forces you to confront who you actually are. Stay until the end. Here's the principle that changes everything. You don't rise to the level of your ambitions. You fall to the level of your training. Marcus reminded himself daily that each morning exists for doing the work a rational being is designed to do. Not what feels good in the moment, not what's convenient, what's necessary for growth. Stop waiting to feel prepared. Perfect preparation is a myth that keeps you paralyzed. Select your practice, then become the person who cannot be broken. Practice 1. Boxing. Not to dominate others, but to dominate the part of you that collapses under tension. Boxing teaches rhythm, movement strategy, and controlled violence. You learn to breathe while your cardiovascular system is in crisis. You discover that panic is noise, not instruction. Every 3-minute round proves the same truth. You're stronger than the voice that tells you to quit. The canvas doesn't care about your excuses. The gloves don't negotiate with your fear. Neither should you. Practice 2. Journaling. This is mental conditioning with ink. Writing your actual thoughts demands honesty that conversation never requires. It cuts through mental fog, structures disorder, and reveals behavioral loops you've been running for years without noticing. Seneca wrote about reviewing your day like an impartial observer, not a harsh critic. That's what journaling becomes over time. A mirror that refuses to flatter and refuses to lie. You face yourself on paper. No performance, no audience, just raw truth. Most people avoid this because they're afraid of what they'll discover. That fear is exactly why you should start. Practice 3. Weightlifting. Not for appearance, for dominion over yourself. The barbell doesn't negotiate or make exceptions for your mood. It teaches that strength arrives through accumulation, never as a gift. 1 repetition at a time, you demonstrate to your body that discomfort is survivable. And once you can execute difficult things on command, your entire existence starts to obey. The weight is honest in ways people rarely are. It exposes weakness without judgment. Then it gives you the chance to build something stronger in its place. Practice 4. Calisthenics. The discipline of mastering your own body weight. Pull-ups, dips, handstands, levers. No equipment, no shortcuts, just you against gravity and self-deception. It's humbling because your physical reality shows you truth immediately. There's nowhere to hide from your current limitations, but it's empowering because improvement is undeniable. You can't fake a muscle up. Your body either obeys or it doesn't. Limitations aren't meant for acceptance. They're meant for systematic destruction through patient work. Practice 5. Chess. a quiet war zone that punishes reactive thinking and rewards strategic clarity. Before we continue, this is where most people quit. If you're still here, you're different. Subscribe to this channel, not for motivation, but for mental tools you can actually use. In a world of noise, we offer direction. In a world of distraction, we build discipline. Hit that subscribe button now. Let's continue. Chess teaches delayed gratification, long-term calculation, and emotional neutrality under pressure. You learn to pause before reacting to provocation. You learn to sacrifice the immediate thing to secure the important thing. And that framework applies directly to finances, relationships, and decisions that determine your trajectory. Every game is a meditation on consequence. Every move reveals your character when pressure arrives. The board doesn't lie about who you are when stakes matter. Practice 6. Communication training. Learning to speak with clarity and authority changes everything about how people respond to you. Not louder, not more aggressive, clear, calm, direct. You learn how to maintain eye contact without aggression, how to organize thoughts under pressure, how to establish boundaries without apologizing. This practice upgrades your presence in every room you enter. Initially, it feels uncomfortable because it exposes insecurity you've been hiding. That's precisely why it works. Most people hide behind vague language and indirect communication. They fear being seen clearly. But power lives in precision. When you can say exactly what you mean, you become unmovable. Practice 7. Reading. One book can eliminate years of costly mistakes. It's the most efficient way to extract someone else's hard-earned wisdom without paying their price. Read philosophy for mental resilience, biographies for expanded perspective, psychology for self-understanding, and practical texts for applicable skills. The Stoics believed wisdom is training, not information hoarding. Reading isn't entertainment when deployed correctly. It's fuel for better thinking. It's reconnaissance into territory you haven't crossed yet. Every page is a conversation with someone who paid the price for knowledge. You get their lessons without inheriting their scars. Practice 8. Running. You're not escaping anything. You're moving toward the version of yourself that refuses to quit when discomfort arrives. Running builds physical endurance and, more critically, mental endurance. You learn to honor a commitment to yourself when nobody is observing. That alone separates the 1% from the distracted masses. Mile 3 is where your mind starts negotiating for comfort. Mile 5 is where you prove negotiations are irrelevant. The road doesn't care about your feelings or excuses. Neither should your discipline. Practice 9. Master a valuable skill. Copywriting, persuasion, design, video production, programming, paid advertising, capabilities that create leverage in the marketplace. Most people wait for external permission, a job title, a fortunate opportunity. A valuable skill makes you useful in any environment. It teaches you to generate value on demand. Master one, and you stop requesting opportunity from gatekeepers. You create it wherever you go. This is how you escape dependency on systems that don't care about you. Skills compound over decades like interest. Credentials expire like milk. Practice 10. Content creation. Not for recognition, for leverage and mental clarity. When you create, you learn to think precisely, explain simply, and speak with conviction. You build evidence of competence that works while you sleep. In a world where attention equals power, the creator has an unfair advantage over the consumer. Even if only 10 people consume your work initially, you're practicing influence, discipline, and identity construction. You're teaching yourself to ship work instead of hiding behind perfectionism. You're building a body of evidence that you execute. That matters more than talent or credentials. Now here's the rule that makes this entire framework functional. Don't collect practices like trophies. Don't become a consumer of self-improvement content. Choose one. Commit for 6 months minimum without negotiation. Put it on your calendar like a medical appointment. Treat it like training, not a mood-dependent hobby. Most people fail because they confuse interest with commitment. Interest is what you feel when it's convenient and exciting. Commitment is what you do when it's hard and invisible. The 1% doesn't have superior genetics or better luck. They have a practice they refuse to negotiate with regardless of circumstances. They show up when they don't feel like it. They continue when progress is invisible to everyone, including themselves. They trust the process when results lag behind effort. Pick one today. Start small, but start immediately. Not tomorrow when motivation arrives, not next week when conditions improve, not when you feel ready. Perfect conditions are a myth that keeps you waiting forever. Action creates clarity faster than thought. Waiting creates doubt that compounds daily. Your future self will recognize the value of this decision, but only if you make it now. If you want daily reminders like this, subscribe to Silent Forge. Your life will improve because you'll be building the habit of protecting your inner fortress and developing character instead of drifting through the same cycles year after year. We forge ourselves in silence while others perform for crowds. We build strength in the unseen hours when nobody's applauding. That's the way forward. Now I want to hear from you. Did I miss any practice that belongs on this list? Comment the practice you'd add and explain why it deserves a spot. What are you forging in the silent hours of your life?